What is going on, guys? Judo Sloth here and welcome to today's Clash of Clans video. We have a 1-hour war or a 45-minute war. You will see every single one of the attacks from two pro teams, MCES versus INTZ, and I am joined by my good friend and co-host Time to Clash.
It is a pleasure to be here. I'm as excited as you are for these two incredible teams. We are looking at two of the World Championship qualifiers going at it head to head.
Well, it's going to start any second. This is part of the Clash International Cup. The Twitter handle is on the screen now if you're interested in checking out the tournament, being able to see results and wars that are upcoming, and their Discord server is linked down below. But we have the first attack, Adam, and it is MCES and Hugo Stiglitz.
Here we go. King straight away on that top side up at 8 o'clock. Doesn't matter if he bounces inside, as long as he pushes back to where that ice golem is. Perfectly done there, all fine. And the queen, he's hoping, I think, will get inside here. Let's see how this works out. Not sure about this, because the wizard was deliberate to take the army camp. He must have been planning for that king to break through the wall. Interesting way to do it.
Yeah, I think he's gonna send the Slammer and the E-Drags in towards one of these multi-infernos, but it's definitely an interesting approach with the sweeper pointing in that direction. He does have free spells, and he does pull the Lava Hound at the moment as well. Interesting to see where he's gonna come in from, unless it is the 9 o'clock inferno, and he can probably get around that sweeper. Definitely the better option.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we get to see where the hound goes. Always very important to be patient. Just take those few seconds, get the hound out of the way. You want it as far away as you can, because obviously if an E-Drag picks it up in the early stages of the attack, it can be all over before it even begins.
So here comes the Slammer and two Electro Dragons trying to get in towards the enemy queen. A beautiful freeze spell stops her in her tracks, and down she goes. The E-Drags continue to do work. They're going to be caught on more air skellies, but if he gets the second multi, which he does, that sets up this attack fantastically now for his Lalo portion.
This is a fantastic start, and it's great base identification. Even with the sweeper, he realised that there was very little that was going to hurt his E-Drag.
Yeah, he got the town hall.
Unbelievable!
What just happened? Hugo Stiglitz, what are you doing to us? Taking down the entire base with the YOLO Throne. It's not just called that for any old reason. It's because you can take down half of a base. The Lalo is now just going to clean up. Adam, this is incredible.
It's like a back-end Lalo. It's a tiny bit of Lalo for the cleanup. Not only did he get the town hall, he obviously sent the warden in with the E-Drags, which is very unusual. And he's absolutely crushed this one. I'm glad you put it on a video, because this one needs to be framed. That is a super hit.
6 swag balloons. A swag haste, a swag freeze. I mean, who said Town Hall 12 couldn't be tripled? Hugo, that is crazy. A professional player right there, showing us how it is done. Amazing value from the kill squad. YOLO Throne at its best. Get some hype in the chat for MCES. Well, it's interesting, and normally we do see Marinol of INTZ, team captain, attacking last for that reason, and we see a lot of the professional teams doing that because your last attack can be what swings the war. So that is why they will often attack last. But Marinol wants to attack first here, spin things around, get a 3-star for INTZ on the board, and he is starting similar to MCES with a bit of a Sui hero technique here first, and then he has a massive Lalo portion. And we know how good of an attacker Marinol is with the Lava Loon strategy.
I love this base. We've got the centralized town hall mixing it up. Now, normally people don't do this, but there's no doubt MCS have had some big successes with this base. I've seen something very similar that they've done. Let's see if INTZ have got the answer to it.
Well, they're off to a good start, if you ask me. The one multi-inferno goes down. He's carved a fantastic path. Interesting that the Slammer comes in here. Often you will see that as a bit of a fail-safe plan, but Marinol has so many balloons at this point that he should be able to cut off the pathing relatively easy with the Lalo in order to ensure that a good bulk of the balloons do go to the center and to the Giga Tesla.
Yeah, queen is the big deal now. If he can get a smooth queen kill, he's done the hard work. He's got his funnel, he's got his pathing. If he can get that queen down quickly, and it isn't going to be easy with that king there.
Dragon comes out of the clan castle though, Adam. We've got a dragon which is alive. What set that off? Dragon comes out and shreds his balloons. We have a bowler at the bottom, snipes off that wizard tower. That could be huge coming down to the end of it. Dragon still doing a lot of work here. Minions and lava pups trying to keep it distracted. He's still got a couple of spells, and this could save him in terms of the 3 stars.
Now then, it's all about these minions. They need to split a little bit. Don't let the dragon take them down in one go.
Oh!
Yeah,
I would have frozen the dragon to take it.
He had the freeze. Is he going to regret it? He could get lucky. The warden could snipe the dragon. You never know. Oh,
he can still freeze the dragon. He can still freeze the dragon. What's
He's not seen it. He's not seen that freeze.
Oh no!
Oh, now he does.
He uses it.
Oh wow! He must have heard us on stream. That's you, Judo. You get the assist there.
Wow. Very. He just thought that we had plenty of viewers, and why don't we build the suspense till the last second? Marinol coming in with a 3-star of his own. We have Val of MCES, who is Leonard, team captain, using the Hog Riders, so a little bit different on this one, starting off with a queen charge from the south of the base here, Adam.
And as we see on so many of these attacks these days, the bases are so well built. Almost always, wherever the entry goes in, you see Teslas there to try and mess up those entries. And obviously that forces the good attackers, the good players, to make the right calls, to adapt to those Teslas. There's so much going on that with this one-hit format, you just cannot plan for it.
Love the use of that balloon there. There was a good chance there would be a black bomb over near the air defense. There wasn't, but it was a good use of the balloon if you ask me. And Val very much recognizes that the buildings to the bottom are easily spaced out, so he didn't have to commit a lot to the funnel. Trying to get wall breakers that little bit further in. They do path where he wants, and he does break open that wall down the bottom, allowing access to the town hall.
Now this is where it gets a little bit risky, because he has broken the outside wall, which means that Dark Spell Factory could pull him out. Probably won't, but he's got to keep an eye on that. And obviously he's got some wizards there. Maybe he'll throw something in there if it starts to turn around and the queen looks like she's going out.
Well, does she? I was just going to say, does she turn to the Dark Spell Factory now and do us a favour? She does. I don't think she's going to be drawn back out. She should walk forward here, and then we'll see the Hog Riders coming in from 4 o'clock. Here they come with the slammer over to 3 o'clock. King running down that side. You can see the exact pathing that he's got set up. Easy access to the Eagle Artillery. Looking good, if you ask me, so far here for Val and Leonard of MCES.
Yeah, very interesting use of the freeze there. Most people would have frozen the multi-inferno. Decides to freeze the bomb tower instead. Felt that was the bigger threat. And again, because the Hogs were going straight to the multi-inferno, looks like it was the right call. But always interesting to see how these pro players are thinking about it and seeing where they want to put those spells.
It is interesting because at first glance you would think multi-inferno next to the Eagle, I'll just freeze both of them, and you wouldn't really move away from that plan once you knew. But Leonard clearly knows what he's doing. Hog Riders surround the base, and we have a triple of triples here, Adam, to start the war. We certainly weren't expecting this, kicking this one off.
No, we were saying high scoring, but this is phenomenal. Not only have we seen 3 triples, but 3 fantastic attacks as well. Nothing at all lucky. Super plan, super execution. How high could this score go?
Perfect is on the cards. Not even close for MCES. 100% and another 3-star attack of INTZ does like the wall breakers into the lava loon, and that's exactly his method of choice. So we have a queen charge coming in from 2 o'clock, 7 wall breakers, and he's normally able to get a good couple of layers into the bases, Banal, with them wall breakers. Good coconut loon coming off to start here, Adam. Where is he going to break his queen in?
My guess is he's going a little bit, yeah, I thought he would do that. He goes around the corner a little bit there. Tesla pops, so he drops that king in very quickly. Nice reactions there. So he gets that king in. King then swings back around where he was meant to be. Again, it's tiny little details like that that make the raids. If that king hadn't have been on time, the Tesla would have killed a wall breaker, the wall break would have failed, and it doesn't look spectacular, but it is a huge part of the raid there, what he just did with that king.
It is, and he's trying his best with the wall breakers. Would have been better to have that original wall broken that the wall breakers did target, but the multi took it out. Queen can still get access to the Eagle CC and enemy Queen here, but would have been nice to get that other wall open, because that would have led the Queen access to the multi down the bottom, and I believe the reason he walked the Queen at the top was to directly target the most northern multi with the Stone Slammer later on in the raid.
Look at that, very smooth freeze there. It didn't look to be a big deal, but that Warden Tower combined with the Arch Tower does quite a bit of damage, and what he decided to do was use the freeze, so he had the ability ready for the enemy Queen. Again, this is just, it's next level stuff. He's thinking 5-10 seconds ahead of the Queen charge. It's brilliant, it really is.
It really is. Gets that freeze in again, like you said, catches the enemy Queen alongside that, so the Archer Queen can easily get through that area. The Rage was ahead of time in order to speed her up, because he does appreciate that things are going against him in terms of time. Does decide to use the Slammer over to 10 o'clock, but still able to easily get the balloons onto the multi. They are going thin, and that has to go down. It does, but he's got a big spread on balloons here, trying to get to the Town Hall. They're going down fast at him.
Yeah, he's had to pop that storm early. I think that was a bit of a reaction there. He did great work with his Queen, keeping the ability up, but those loons spread and took a lot of damage on the way into the Town Hall, and he made the right play there. I think he realised that, you know, at the end of the day, a 2-star 90% is much, much better than any 1-star. Had to make the right play there. He hates it because he wants the triple. Sometimes you've just got to make that call, pop that storm early, get that Town Hall, and ensure that your team stays in the game.
You're totally right, and that is part of being a pro player, is knowing when to adjust from your plan, when to change things up, and when to just get that high percentage. Because if it does go to percentage, when you have only 5 bases, every single building matters massively, and a 94% 2-star is definitely nothing to grumble about. Arium attacking with the Lava Loon. He has a clone spell on this one, so the Electron is his method of choice. We've seen this in terms of the YOLO-tron earlier on. Exciting to see how this one goes at him.
And I think that is a straight distinction between sort of the pro players and the not quite there players. Is they have got an answer for everything, every different type of army comp. Like you said, they could have easily just gone YOLO-tron again, but that's not the right strategy for this base, and they can adapt so quickly, just a tiny change.
I totally agree, and I love the use of that Ice Golem. Whilst the Tesla farm goes down there, obviously a one-attack format war, you don't always know where they are, but in terms of a Sui method, I just think that the Ice Golem offers you so much more value. For 15 troop capacity, tanking for the Queen, freezing the defenses, you get so much more, and that entire Tesla farm goes down. Easy pathing for the multi-inferno. Arium's got to be happy at this stage of the attack.
Very much so. He's got his perfect path in for the Slammer. It's right there on the multi. He's not rushing anything. He's nice and calm and casual here. And then look at that. The poison deliberately puts it at the very back end of the Archer, so that way he could just try and clip that Queen or any air skellies that pop. It's just a smart play to get the maximum value out of the spells.
Definitely, because whenever you have the Archer Queen, we commonly see that now, to try and defend this strategy, but the Queen did not go down. The E-Drag's too busy on the defenses, didn't do what Arium wanted, so he has to adapt. He has to just go for it now. Lalo coming in from the top. He's very confident on the 2-star. It's just how much percentage he can get.
And this is the little bit of luck that INTZ might have needed there. It looked like that Queen should have gone forwards. She didn't. So, like you said, the E-Drag was too far away. I'm praying that he gets lucky with some pups, but I think he knows it isn't going to happen.
Yes, was the Archers in the Clan Castle. A good play by INTZ there. Obviously trying to distract any sort of Electron method that might come in. And this is going to mean that whilst MCES have that extra triple, INTZ will be happy in that their percentage was 94%. And we're... Well, are we? Actually, I might have spoken too soon here.
It's going to be close.
93, I think it will be.
And if you are right, it looks like you're going to be. That will mean that if it is a triple from INTZ, we'll have a 1% war going into the next attacks. But INTZ are in for, we're not going to call it a must triple, but if he does get it, they're going to be right back in there. He's going in on Val. Queen charge on that top side. Lovely couple of loons there just to tidy up those buildings and get that queen going the direction that he wants.
Gets a black bomb there as well with them balloons, which is always nice. INTZ, if they get the triple here, as we've mentioned, will pull them 1%, and that is a single building into the lead. What a close war we have. Professional teams, it is always that close. The P.E.K.K.A on the right-hand side, slowly creating that funnel, just about gets the DE storage, which is massive to ensure the queen, after the Lava Hound goes down, beelines her way straight to the town hall.
Yeah, and it's perfect placement here. There's nothing lucky about this. He worked out where he wanted his healers. He created that straight line between the healers, the queen, and the multi-inferno, knowing that if it was a Hound CC, he needed his healers out of range. Everything about that was planned, and everything about it was executed perfectly.
Definitely. So the queen just slowly moving in here. Are the healers going to get in range of this multi-inferno? They're right on the borderline here, Adam. Fortunate not to have them in range. There they go. And he needs to get them out of that multi-inferno. The slammer comes in to try and help, but the air sweeper does the job for them. Healers safe, and the dragons come in straight to the enemy archer queen.
Yeah, you've got to say he couldn't have been happier with that sweeper. That sweeper's done a fine job of just protecting those healers. They're very low, but they're alive, and that's all that matters. The dragons using that double rage, massive push through the base. Now it's all about this back end. 2 air defenses still up. Can he get lucky? I say lucky. Can he get that queen onto the air defense just to help him finish off?
Oh, well, he did it. Queen takes it down. The freeze was on the air defense down the bottom. I've got to say, he could have placed that on the air defense and the archer tower to really make sure. Is that going to cost him coming down to the end of it? I don't think so, Adam. He's got the queen's ability. He's got dragons around the base. This one is crushed, and we have such an exciting war. A single building after 6 attacks is what separates these teams.
And this is what's crazy about this, because sometimes you see these two great teams going into a war, and you're always nervous that you're going to overhype it, and then it's not quite going to be that good. This one we've underhyped. This is absolutely epic stuff. 8 all, and we've got 0.2%. Like you said, that is 1 real percent, 1 building.
That. 1 building, a 94% versus a 93%. So MCES are now behind. 4 attacks remain. Synthe of MCES, the pressure is now on. I say the pressure, they are only a single building behind, but coming second in the World Championships, they know how to handle defeat. Are they going to bounce back here, Adam? Are they going to take this one? Synthe coming in with his Hog Rider attack.
Now this is fascinating because he's usually their 5th and final attacker. Is this a change they've made on the fly because they feel that this is the right way to do it? We'll never know, but it always makes you ask that question. Let's enjoy the attack though. P.E.K.K.A does an absolutely fine job of splitting the bottom buildings, lets that king in, and obviously then the queen can clear up around the top side. It's a beautiful outside funnel, getting everything that he wants, lining up there for the hogs.
Yes, that cannon over to the west of the base, and that single balloon to take it down is massive, meaning that the Hog Riders will hopefully stick inside the base towards that multi. Otherwise, a good portion of them could have been drawn to the outside. Where is he going to attack from here? Does lure the Hound. He's got a couple of archers to pull it. I think he's coming straight in from... Oh, it's difficult to say here, Adam. Is he using the slammer for the town hall, or is he sending the hogs straight in?
9
Does the king get it?
9 o'clock, I think. I mean, that king was great there, getting the town hall.
Wow.
I doubt he planned on that. Yeah, I don't think that was the plan. I think he probably thought it might happen, but he'll have had a couple of if scenarios there with the slammer if it didn't. No, I was completely wrong. He goes from 1 and 3 instead. Interesting.
I think he's changed this up. I think he was going to bring the hogs in from 4 o'clock with the slammer onto the town hall, but who knows? Difficult to say. That is something we discussed earlier on, though, in that of the diversity and the variety that Synthe has, the ability to change it up and that is why he is normally their last attacker. This is looking very much like a 3-star Adam. He's got a ton of Hog Riders. The Queen is still up, and that is the main threat, but the base is going down fast.
It looks good, but with the Queen up, he's got a big finish, and we've also got that quad Tesla on the top side, and you know there's going to be some traps in there. How many?
It's this multi as well. Is there a giant bomb hiding here, which will finish off the Hog Riders? There's not, but they are incredibly low health. Do they have enough to get through the Tesla? But then, does he have enough to get the buildings next to the Queen? I don't think he does.
Wow, there was a giant bomb. He did have some hogs on full health, which allows him to get the penultimate Tesla. Does he get the last one? Probably, but he can't get back to that Queen now. She's going to snipe everything that goes near him. Oh, so close.
Wow. So up and down. We mentioned that the King probably got more value than he expected. Potentially, he changed angle of his hog deployment. Was that a good decision? Was that a bad decision? Who knows? 95% 2-star, a great attack, but not what MCES needed. The P.E.K.K.A. Smash, it is. Town Hall in the center. Brilliant stuff. I love seeing the Warden walk at him.
Absolutely. To me, this is the biggest innovation of the year. I think there's been lots of new strategies, lots of new attacks and methods, but the Warden walk, to me, is right up at the very top there. And obviously, these guys are experts at executing. They make it look so easy.
They really do, and the Warden can reach so many other buildings. He's going to be able to strip the entire bottom part of the base, and the thing I enjoy about the Warden walk is that it's so easy to then pull him exactly where you want. So once he's taken out the bottom area of the base, created the funnel, love the delayed deployment on the healers because of the air defense. Once this multi goes down, he can pull the Warden easily just by deploying the P.E.K.K.A. and Bowler.
Yeah, it's so safe. It's very rare that your Warden can get out of range as long as your timing's good with when you put your P.E.K.K.A.s down. Because like you said, immediately the Warden will go and follow those P.E.K.K.A.s and get back exactly where you want him. And more importantly, bring those healers back into the game right where you want them.
Interesting that he has 4 earthquake spells waiting in order to get damage onto the town hall, I would assume here as well, but they do get deployed over to that top area. Actually doesn't clip the town hall, so probably a good move actually, because he opens up the area for the top multi-inferno, but he's playing a bit of a risk there, trying to then hope that a couple of troops ping off to the town hall. It's not quite happening for him. He's got the slammer, but he wanted that for the other side of the base.
Yeah, that wizard did an absolutely fine job of clearing one of the buildings up top, but no doubt he needed a second building to make everything go inside. He didn't have that. With hindsight, could he have put a P.E.K.K.A. late up that top side to create that funnel? Either way, he hasn't, and now he's on the outside. Luckily, the Queen is back in on the town hall.
I was going to say this still looks good because the Queen with that ability can get the town hall safe, the slammer can come in, and with so many P.E.K.K.A. and the King on the outside, all he's got to do is use his haste spell wisely to help, assumably the balloons with inside the stone slammer, get the multi, and this is a triple.
Yeah, absolutely. How can everything path to the top side, and yet still he's making it look quite easy in the end? They make me feel bad to these players. They need to stop doing this. But you're right, the loot split perfectly, and boom, it's another triple.
INTZ doing what they need to do. That pulls them even further ahead. Now, in terms of the CIC, it is the 2 wars together that counts, but for this one, INTZ miles in the lead now.
Win, so MCS still everything to play for, even after that triple.
Exactly, there might be a triple down, but if MCES get the triple here, then INTZ need a very high percentage 2-star, or will they get the 3-star? But a 94, that is an incredibly high margin in itself. It all comes to this one though. Tryhard has to get a 3-star for MCES, otherwise they are hoping that INTZ make a huge mistake.
And these are the big calls you make in these wars. So now we use a rage on the Warden walk, and this is top level strategy here. Working out, is the rage going to get me enough value? You can see there that Warden doing an absolutely fine job. A multi-inferno, very much worth the rage. Brilliant planning here by MCS.
Well, I think as well, he knows that the Warden is going to take a lot of time there. If we look at the battle timer, 2 minutes already. So he's got to get a move on here. Sometimes that rage is to speed the Grand Warden up as well, because he's already got, as you mentioned, huge value, not just creating the funnel.
And not for the first time in this war, we're seeing a raid where we're moving around the outside. You can see there, the king down there at 5 o'clock means he cannot funnel there. He's going to have to funnel even further down. That's where it goes, with the king below the enemy king. So that way he can actually clear that gold storage and force his troops inside. And yeah, we are walking around the outside with pretty much our entire army to drive us round and then push in to that town hall.
Giant bomb does not help there, taking out the barbarian... all the barbarians around the barbarian king and him in himself. It causes the P.E.K.K.A to walk, so not ideal. We've seen attacks recover here as the queen is still in the center, but does she have enough to get through the town hall, get the eagle, and then what else can she get following that?
Yeah, and she needs the eagle at the very least. I think if that eagle stays up, the amount of damage that will get rained onto his outside troops would be too much. Oh, she barses away, but she's going back. She's slowly going back. Can she get there?
Is that enemy queen going to cause issues here? She is in range. She's going to miss the eagle.
The archers are tanking for her, but the tornado trap keeps his queen away. Without the tornado trap, he would have got away with that.
He gets the eagle with the queen, but as you mentioned, the enemy archer queen going over and shredding the balloons is probably a worse scenario. Wow, just everything going wrong for Tryhard there. Now uses the jump spell to try and force the P.E.K.K.A back in, but irrespective, they just haven't got enough to get through this base, and it is a low percentage as well at that.
So now that puts INTZ in a phenomenal position, and this is what we were talking about with the last attack, because now they know they only need to go out and get a solid 2-star, job done, and it's a W in this war.
They do, and we are straight in. Aussie it is, going in with the Queen Charge Lalo, but whilst this is one of the 3-star strategies we think of, it is a quite safe 2-star, because even if it goes wrong, you can change the pathing of your Lalo, you can hold on to the Slammer. There are so many plan Bs and safe scenarios of getting that 2-star if required, and right now, that is all INTZ need.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll see on this one, if that queen starts getting trouble early, whereas normally you'd risk it, on this one he's not going to. If that queen gets anywhere near trouble, he'll phase. There it is. I called it, predicted it. That's an early phase. He doesn't want that phase, but ultimately the 2-star, he's much more important here than the risky 3-star.
Definitely, and if the multi goes down and protects the healers, which he does, he can obviously get a lot more value and give himself an even better chance of that 3. The rage spell comes in, poison onto the enemy archer queen to slow her down, but also get them archers and the lava pups after he pops the hound. But he's safe at this point. The 2 is an easy scenario now, and INTZ looking very likely to take this war.
I absolutely love the poison there. That was just phenomenal value. Getting all the archers, getting the enemy queen as well, and of course, hitting the hound and most of the pups. That is, as a one spell space spell goes, that is as good as it gets. Using the poison instead of the freeze and getting absolutely everything.
You're absolutely right. And in terms of taking out that hound, it's not just taking out the pups in terms of damage. It's helping the queen through, so you have enough time. That's probably more of what he wanted from that. Town Hall goes down here after the Grand Warden's ability. That's his 2-star, and INTZ will take this war. Now, in terms of the single 5-format war, this is just the second one. The Clash International Cup has 2 wars, and MCES won the first one, and how the division works is both of the matches go together. So despite INTZ winning this one, MCES won the 5-minute war 13-10, so ultimately they take the 2 matches and will win.
When did that change? Because not so long ago the 2 wars were separate. Is that a new thing?
Well, I've packaged it there as they will win, but they are scored differently, sorry, but they will get more points across the 2 wars. So I know I described that differently, but they get more points across the 2 wars. But in general, they will get more points and come out on top, if you will. Maybe not win.
I cannot believe after that start, after that queen phase early, he's actually got the triple as well. Icing on the cake for Aussie and INTZ. Wow, take a bow.
Beautiful stuff. So the final results is 14-12 for this war. Beautiful stuff. Loved it. Thank you for joining me on the channel as well, Adam. Wow. What a war.